So in this video, we're going to look at question number 6. So what are the possible graphical display for the relationship between two variables? Can you use Excel to generate display? Click here to practice, okay? So first, if you think about what we learned in chapter 2, part B, is about relationship. So if you think about finding the relationship using the graphical display, we only learn one method that is called the scatter plot with the trend line. So when we're using that method, you have to keep in mind that both variable has to be quantitative data. So which means if one variable is gender, that is a category data, another variable is GPA, which is quantitative data, you cannot use scatter plot to find the relationship. And so in order to use the scatter plot, you have to make sure both variables are quantitative data. So in the exams, I will not tell you using which methods. Like I said, I will just show you, okay, can you find the relationship between these two variables using the graphical display? You need to check on the value, make sure you know that I will not give you category data to ask you to find the relationship using the graphical display. If I'm asking you for graphical display for the relationship, both variables already checked, they are quantitative data. Okay, so again, in this video, we only focus on how to get the chart and tables, and in the exams, and you will be the one to decide the method, which method you're going to use. But keep in mind, the key word in those questions is relationship and graphical display. Okay, relationship, if asking for relationship and it require you to use a graphical display, you only have one option, that is a scatter plot. So let's look at the same data we worked on. So the win, league, batting average, and earn run average. So in last question, I was using win and the league, and I create cross tabulation to find relationship. And obviously, that won't work in this case. The reason is because the league is a category data. So we cannot generate a scatter plot using win and the league. So now let's move using different variables. So the batting average and win, so they are both quantitative data. So let's say you're curious about the relationship between win and a batting average. So what's the relationship between these two? Remember, we can identify the positive relationship, negative relationship, or no, apparently no relationship. So we're going to using the scatter plot. So if the question do emphasize that the win has to be on the y-axis and the batting average has to be on the x-axis, so the method you need to use has to using the data analysis. So make sure you have that one add on to your Excel before you take the exams. So let's see, the y variable win going to be on the y-axis. Batting average, my x2 going to be on my horizontal axis. So let's finding the relationship. So we're gonna go to data, click the data tab, and so you should have the data analysis on your Excel. And so now let's see, we're gonna using the regression. We choose regression and then we click OK. So my y input, and then that is my y range, right? Win. My x input, I will select batting average. Did you see that when I select the data, I include the first row, win and the batting average, because I want to keep my labels in my chart as well. But also you need to let Excel know the data you select are not all observations. We do include labels. You need to check labels. However, if you didn't select the first row labels, please do not check this box. You're going to check this box because you did select labels. So don't just try memorizing it. You have to understand what you are doing. So you check labels because the original data when you selected, you did include the labels. And then we're going to need a line fit plot. So that's a plot we need. So that's a scatter plot. And then you can click OK. So now you got this result. Don't worry about left-hand side. We're going to look at that part in chapter 14. And now in this question, we only focus on the scatter plot. So this is not 100% correct because you don't see the trend line. Instead, we see this orange dot is called predicted win. So we don't need them. So I'm going to select all those orange dots and find the delete on my keyboard and push it. I delete my orange dot, but at the same time, I do want to have my trend line added. So we're going to select the blue dot and right click the mouse. And then you will move down, have the option called the add trend line. You're going to click that one, add the trend line. So now you see that. See that? So we follow requirement. The y-axis is wing, horizontal axis is batting average, and we have this trend line go upward. If I ask you for the insight, so your insight is wing and the batting average has a positive relationship. So which means the higher batting average, the higher score for wing, right? Higher percent for wing. So this is the relationship between wing and the batting average. And we're using a graphical display to finding this relationship.